as part of the rebuild on these heads, I have to clean up all the valves. So all the valves have been removed and separated into containers, and they need to be decarboned and cleaned up, ready for when the heads are reassembled for them to go back in all nice and clean. These are just some cheap containers that I got off eBay for holding all the valve equipment from these heads. There's two of these, one does each head. So there's 12 compartments in each, which will do one head of a V6 4 valve per cylinder, and you can see it's laid out, intake and exhaust, with 4 sections for each one, and that just helps keep all your valves in order and everything without spending a whole heap of money. So this is typical of the condition of the valves when I remove them. They're not too bad. They haven't been in there for a huge amount of time, but so that's your intake, that's your exhaust. We just want to get all the carbon and scunge off them, so they're nice and clean to put back in. And it also helps when we're going to be relapping the valves in, getting a suction cup to stick to the top. They really need to be clean for lapping. So this container holds the set for the other head. I've already done these, so I'll give you a bit of a comparison. There you go. Intake valve. Exhaust valve. Exhaust valves don't come up as clean as the intake valves. Obviously they've had a lot harder life, but you get the gist. So how do we achieve this? Well, it's quite simple really. All of this was done on a drill press or a mill. I'm actually using my mill, but you can use a drill press for this, and it's just been done with green Scotch-Brite and a bit of lubricant and a bit of silicone hose. So we'll go over to the mill and I'll give you a demo on exactly what to do. Just remember, you can just use a drill press for this though. So the first thing you need to do is get yourself a bit of rubber hose. That's just a bit of silicone tubing there that fits, reasonably neatly over the stem of your valve. And you need to make it long enough to cover down to where the scunge begins on your valve. So obviously that area there, anything below that has been in the intake tract or in the combustion chamber, and obviously does not move through the valve guide. All of this area here moves through the valve guide and the valve stem seal. So we don't want to touch that because that's all just fine the way it is. And honestly, if they were worn at all in that area, you would be replacing the valves. So all you need to do, go down to your scunge line on the tube and then fit that in the chuck in the drill press. I don't use a chuck key when I'm doing this. I just mount it in the drill press and do it up by hand until it's nice and snug. The silicone hose protects your valve stem from any marring from your chuck, and it allows it to be held quite firmly in there without having to crank the hell out of the chuck key. So let's move in a bit closer. If you notice down here, I have a mirror. That's just an old mirror off a car. So the purpose of the mirror is so you can keep an eye on how your cleaning's going on the underside of the valve without having to constantly bend over and look up from underneath. You'll end up with a sore neck after doing a whole heap of valves. It just means you can keep an eye on both sides while you're working. So I just have some thinners, some wax and grease remover, some petrol, whatever you want in a container there. Something that's going to help you a little bit with breaking the stuff down. Bit of green Scotch-Brite, bit of blue Scotch-Brite, bit of workshop paper. And basically we just spin this up to a point where it's running at a speed that's comfortable for us. I've got this set on 570 RPM. I find that's a good balance between you know, fast and slow. It's quick enough that it does them fairly quickly. It's slow enough that it doesn't go crazy and be hard to control while it's in there. So I'll just throw some gloves on and we'll get this valve done. Here we go. I'll leave this footage running at normal speed so you can just get an idea of how long it takes to do this and how quickly or how slowly, depending on how you're looking at it, it takes to actually start removing this stuff. I'll bump that mirror there. It starts to come away fairly quickly, the solvent or lubricant depending on what you're doing, and helps the Scotch-Brite go to work on the carbon or gum deposits. I find the mirror to be really such a bonus when doing this sort of stuff. It just means you can keep track on that underside, as I say, without having to bend over and look up under there all the time, because you really, you know, you only want to be doing as much work as you need to get it clean, because you have got a lot of valves to get through. You don't want to be spending unnecessary time on something that may already be clean or may be clean in certain areas. You can see most of the middle of that valve's clean. There's really just a bit of a line around the outside edge, so we can sort of focus on that area if we can see exactly what we're doing. It just makes it pretty easy to put the effort where it's needed and not overly clean areas that are already clean. You don't have to use a whole lot of effort with this. Like, it's a fairly relaxed sort of a process. You're just letting the rotation of the machine and the Scotch-Brite do all the work without having to physically, you know, put in that much effort yourself. Doing it in the drill press just makes it a lot safer for the valve as well. You're not dicking around trying to hold onto it in all sorts of awkward situations and, you know, risk damaging the valve at all. And it just allows you to do a more consistent, even job. So just giving it a wipe here and there with the kitchen paper or workshop paper, just so you can see where you're at with it. Because you really only need to do this until all the deposits are gone. You don't want to keep at it. We want to do the minimum amount of work that we can on these things, just to get them clean, and then that's it. We don't want to try and polish them or do anything bloody stupid like that. We just want them clean, so they're ready to reinstall the engine with the least amount of fuss. Well, I'll just stop that, and you can see from the mirror that that's looking pretty good. It's a bit harder for you guys to see it than I can in the mirror, particularly because I've got a big blob of crap on there. Hang on. That's a bit better. All right. That's looking pretty good. I think most of the schmooze off there now. So I'll just give it a hit with some blue Scotch-Brite, which is very, very mild. I'm just throwing a bit of WD-40 or something like that on it, just to give it a bit of lubricant. Crank this up again. And that's that. Get him out. Remove that. And you can see we have a tiny weeny bit of scungy stuff there. Almost nothing. Just address that by hand so that we're not going too far up the valve stem or anything. A bit of a wipe and she's good to go. Quick comparison, that's the next one I'm about to do. This one was exactly the same. Very nice. Done. Job's done. So obviously the exhaust valves are a little bit more stubborn than this. They have harder carbon deposits on it, but it is exactly the same process. It just takes a little bit longer. Green Scotch-Brite, bit of lube, 600 RPM or thereabouts. And there you go. Hope you found that helpful. Cheers.